So a warm welcome to this course, which is an introduction to carrying out parent consultations or parent meetings with children in your key group. Certainly this course isn't going to teach you everything you need to know about carrying out parent meetings, because there's always more to learn, and the best way to learn is by actually doing it. And the more of them you do, the better at them you're going to get. However, there are some basic standards that you must meet when you do parent meetings, and you have to do them within the Rainbow style. And we have quite a clear structure for how the parent meetings should be carried out. So these are the kind of things that this course is going to walk you through. And over time, the more you do them, the better you're going to get at doing them. So carrying out parent consultations is absolutely not an extra, not something in addition to your role. It is a core part of every practitioner's role, giving feedback to parents about the child's development. And the idea of a parent consultation is that it's a two-way meeting between the parents and between the nursery. And that's so that you can exchange, share ideas, talk, answer questions, but also ask questions about how the child is at home, or what the parents' ideas or impressions about what we're doing with the children is. So it's definitely a conversation, and it's definitely a two-way street. But you need to ask the right questions, and you need to phrase things in the right way, and it's important that you respond to parents' queries or questions in a way that's professional and appropriate. And this course will help you to unpack some of the questions that parents might ask and how to respond to some of those. The parent consultations are always carried out by the key worker, by the child's key worker, but not alone. The key worker is either with the team leader or the senior practitioner, if there is a senior practitioner in the class. So usually if there's a team leader and a senior practitioner, the team leader will do 2 colour groups with those key workers, and the senior practitioner will do the other 2 key groups with those key workers. And they are there, the senior practitioner and team leader, they're there to support, guide, and coach you through the meetings. And depending on your level of confidence, will really depend on the level of input that the team leader or senior practitioner gives. And obviously when you're new to it, you might need more support, and you might need your team leader to take a more active role. The other thing, of course, the team leader can do is to give you feedback after the parent consultations, to tell you how you came across, maybe things that you did really well, things that you could improve for next time, things that you should maybe refrain from saying or phrase differently. So it's really important for you to bounce off of your team leader, and really to discuss every parent consultation after you've done it with the team leader that's in there with you. Parent consultations usually happen twice a year, and some years we also offer a kind of final optional parent meeting in kind of June time, especially for children that might be transitioning away from Rainbow, to help them crystallize a profile of what they've achieved at Rainbow, and maybe what they need to focus on kind of coming next in their next setting. But usually only 20 to 30% of parents will take up that offer of the third parent consultation. So our parent consultations are usually in November, December time, sometimes in January, depending on how quickly all the children have settled, and when we can physically make time to get those parent consultations scheduled. And then the next set of parent consultations are usually around April, May time. And then if there is a third, it's usually right at the end of the year, June, July, even early August, for those children that want or require a third. Parent consultations are absolutely not mandatory. Parents don't have to have them. It's something that's offered. There's usually a sign-up system that is provided to parents. It might be a chart or stuck onto the classroom door where parents can sign for the time slot that they want. It's also been done electronically sometimes, where parents are sent a link to a Google sheet with times, and parents can fill in their name next to the times that they want. The only problem with that sometimes is occasionally parents overwrite other parents, which is a bit mean. But on Google Documents, you can actually track who's done what. So we always find out when that happens. So the parents have the opportunity to sign up and to register for it. Sometimes you, as the key worker or the team leader or even the manager, might say, well, actually, that parent or that family, they must have a parent consultation because there are some really important things that we want to discuss or flag. But generally, especially in the first and usually in the second consultation of the year, all the parents, they want it. They want to know how their child's doing. They want feedback. And they really welcome that opportunity to meet you, the child's key worker, for an uninterrupted half an hour. So you get up to 30 minutes to deliver the parent consultation with them, which is a huge time investment. So you will be doing all of the parent consultations for the children that are in your colour group. So that's usually between 5 and 9 children, depending on the size of your class and the size of each colour group within that class. Occasionally, if we have a key worker missing from a class, maybe there's a vacancy and there's cover staff that are covering that vacancy, then you might be asked to prepare and lead, 2 sets of parent consultations, perhaps for the red and blue group rather than just the blue group, for example. And if you are asked to do that, then we really appreciate your help and support to make sure that every child in the group has the opportunity to get that feedback, with their parents. The children are not in the parent consultations, by the way. It's a meeting between the key worker, team leader or senior practitioner, and the parents. And where a child has more than one parent, we do ask for all the child's parents to be involved in that parent consultation. And for a small percentage of our families where parents are separated or in fact were never together, then sometimes that can be a bit tricky logistically. But we want you to work hard to make sure that can happen. And you might sometimes need to liaise between the different parents and compromise so that, a time can be reached where both parents can actually be there and be present for that meeting. The aim of the parent consultation is essentially for you to present the child's progress. So you will have done significant preparation before the parent meeting, but kind of preparation for parent meetings is kind of almost something that's ongoing, because you should never just prepare for the parents' meeting and do all your developmental records just prior to a parents' meeting. Right when you receive the children in September, you should be doing baseline assessment, checking them off against all of their milestones, carrying out a minimum of 2 observations per month for your key children, collecting work that they've done, annotating photographs, You should be doing those kind of things on an ongoing basis, not just leading up to parent consultations. So what you do in preparation leading up to parent consultations is you pull all of that together, you review their developmental file and make sure that everything is there, and you read through it so that you have a really clear developmental snapshot of where the child is at this point in time. You think about what targets you may have set for the child for their development, and you think about the key things that you want to discuss. And there is actually a key worker preparation form, which essentially forms your agenda for your parent consultation meeting with the parents. So on that sheet, you note down all of the things that you would like to discuss. And the sheet highlights you to, or prompts you to highlight some things that are positive, some things that you believe the child needs to develop or work on. It prompts you to record a summary of their developmental milestones, maybe highlight some specifically that you want to share with the parents as part of that parent consultation process. Your team leader will look at the meeting preparation sheets prior to the parent consultations taking part, and they will support you to ensure that you've covered everything, might point out if there's additional things that they would like you to cover. And when you're reviewing that sheet with the team leader, it's also a great time to talk about what role you're going to take in leading that meeting and what kind of support or assistance you will need from the team leader or senior practitioner within the meeting. So that really provides a good opportunity for you to discuss that together. Traditionally, parent meetings have been face-to-face, where inside the nursery you would arrange this time and date to meet with the families to discuss your agenda and go through the things. But since the onslaught of COVID, parent consultations have actually moved onto Zoom, and that seems to be working quite well. It seems to be more efficient in terms of having to be in the nursery, waiting for parents, bringing them in, bringing them out. So certainly for now, we're continuing with the Zoom, and that might continue right into the future. There might be some parents where they either don't have access to IT, or where you would prefer to meet them face-to-face, and that is absolutely fine still to do that, to request and to do a face-to-face meeting. What you need to do is you need to make sure you are super prepared. I know I've already said that like 10 times that you need to be prepared, but that is the number one consideration. It's no point you walking into a parent meeting not really knowing what you're going to say, not knowing what you're going to talk about, barely knowing who the child is, and just saying how sweet and lovely they are. That is an absolute waste of everybody's time. You need to be well prepared, have thought through the things that you want to say, talk about, and discuss. You need to come across as professional. You are the face of Rainbow. You need to be using professional language, professional terms, technical terms. You might be talking about atypical development, for example, if you're raising concerns that relate to the child's development. And certainly your team leader can step in and help you if you need support with that. You need to come across as knowledgeable. You need to show the parents that you know the child and that you understand what their child's needs are. You need to try your best to showcase our best work. Talk about the things that we're doing in GAN. Share stories with the parents. Talk about how their child is succeeding, how they take part in activities, and really highlight the very best stuff, that we're doing with the children as well. talk about activities, talk about discussions at circle time, talk about the skills that we're supporting them to develop. And a big part of the parent meetings is to really see parents as partners. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. Parents as partners. We're not here to lecture to the parents and to say they do this, they don't do this, they need to do more of this. But it's a conversation. We're in partnership with caring for their children. And one thing to always remember is that the parents know their children better than anybody else. So it's okay to ask advice. In fact, it's requested, it's desirable to ask advice from parents, to say, well, when this happens at home, or when you've noticed that, what are the kind of things that you do? Would you have any strategies that you could suggest when this happens? And once you ask parents those kind of questions, you're bringing them in as partners, and it's not us and them, and it's not, well, you should be doing this at GAN and you're not doing this properly. But when you use the kind of language, tell us about what you do, share with us what's been successful for you, what strategies do you think we should try, then we're really bringing parents on board as partners. That's really it for my introduction to this course, and hopefully it's given you some juicy snippets to start thinking about. And I've tried to lay out the land so you know what you're going to expect and be expected to do when you're carrying out parent consultations. So the very best of luck if you've not done it before. You're going to be great. You need to be confident. And you can also ask parents for feedback. You can say, this is my first batch of parent consultations. How did I do? And that will make the parents incredibly warm towards you as well. Enjoy them.